in a few minutes.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Bob. Now, let's we could have a little bit of fun tonight, I think. However, first I'm going to try to re-welcome everybody back into the call. Thank you for coming in faithfully. No, I did not think we were going to have a regular call tonight. If anything, I thought it would be a celebration call. I have been saying that for a little while now, I think, but I really do mean that. I think that what's interesting about tonight is we were hearing some pretty good information later this afternoon that made it seem as though we might not even have a call tonight. So here we are. We're back. We're here for you. We're going to bring some intel to you now, and that's sort of what I do. I like the fact that our call is expanding, that we're more international than we've ever been, that we have listeners in a lot of different parts of the globe, including South and Central America, South Africa. I wonder how many listeners we might have in Zimbabwe. I would hope that we would have some. Also, Australia, New Zealand, yep. The Far East, China, yes. The Middle East, Iraq, Kurdistan, yes. And mashallah bismillah to those of you over in that region. And we have people in Europe and in England as well that listen to us. And of course, our neighbors to the north, oh, Canada. Appreciate you guys always. And I just know we have Bob, you've got some people in Canada, I know, that are Boomers customers as well. And I know that you've been shipping there for a while, and you're shipping in other parts of the world as well. So we do have a good reach. We do have a good, decent reach. And I'll tell you what, I'm pleased that where we are right now, yes, would that we had this years ago, before many of you even found the big call. I know that would be selfish, though. And if I were to say, man, this was supposed to happen 6 or 7 or 8 years ago, and here we are, 2017. But you know what? This is the appointed time. And it's like Pastor Stevens said. He called us, the called. We've been known, even by the Redemption Center personnel, especially the Zim holders, known as the COs, meaning the chosen ones. And yes, I do feel like we've been called to this. We have been selected or chosen for this time. And I just believe that it is up to us, essentially, to be wealth spreaders throughout the earth, not just here in the United States or Canada or even in Mexico, but we're called to essentially find the need, meet the need, and change a nation, starting with our own, and then from there we go all over the world. But this time is an interesting time because, realistically, there are different phases of this, different tiers, tier 1, 2, 3, and 4. Those of us who are part of the internet group are tier 4. I call the John Q public, those that don't pay attention to the blogs, that don't listen to calls, all of that, I call them tier 5. There's not really a true tier 5, but I do tend to refer to the John Q public that goes after we get started as a tier 5. So that's just my nomenclature. It's not official, okay? It's just a way for me to keep our start with the internet group, which is a number pretty close to 5 million people, separate, if you will, from the remainder of those who may have been gifted a note or so in the past, and they just kind of put it away. Maybe they put it on a bulletin board. Maybe they put it in a drawer, a sock drawer. Who knows? But that group of people will go after we get started. And actually, we understand there'll actually be a break in the action, if you will, after we complete our transactions at the redemption centers. So let's just go right into where we are and where we hope to be in a matter of hours to days. Okay? First of all, let's visit Iraq. It always comes back to Iraq. And what we're finding now is there was an announcement Sunday morning, I believe, after morning prayer. I believe that's when it occurred. It's wild when you hear things over the last several days. Sometimes it kind of comes together, and I miss the exact timing. But if I'm not mistaken, it was Sunday. Could have been as early as Saturday, but I believe it was Sunday. And what happened was Prime Minister Abadi made an announcement welcoming countries from around the world to come to Iraq to begin to do business. In other words, Iraq is open for business. It's sort of a simple announcement, but one that carries weight in the sense that he couldn't make that announcement if they weren't ready to do business with a rate, with a new currency in the sense of the lower denominations of the dinar, with a full engaged banking system, a financial system that works all over the country, even in Mosul. I mean, they have been working through pretty steadily over the last week, especially in putting in new electric cable in places. They've been working hard on fiber optics, their satellite link up, everything. And they've had really, really good testing, over 24 hours or so, a day or so ago, that was proving very, very sound. Good results, solid, ready to go. And they've been preparing for celebrations. In fact, even tonight I heard that, people are beginning to decorate the cars in Iraq for, I don't know if I'd call it a parade, but maybe it's just celebration, okay? I believe they're expecting visitors shortly, and not only for investment, but could be international dignitaries coming to congratulate Prime Minister Abadi and Iraq for coming all the way back. And I think there's quite a bit that's gone on in the liberation of Mosul, as you guys know. And there's been a little additional cleanup here and there. There's been a little bit of cleanup in Basra. I call it Basra. It may be Basra, but I call it Basra because it sounds more Arabic, I guess. But, they are ready for business. They're ready to begin being international again. And they do have a decent rate on the dinar, and we're not going to do rates and dates because we just don't do that. Well, I did it kind of the other day, a couple of weeks ago. I kind of got into rates a little bit because I think it's important that you guys know that the rates are happening. They are trading these currencies. They're going up. And we're going to be very pleased with what we even see on the screens as so-called bank rates or screen rates. You should be very happy with those. The ZIM is ridiculous on the face of it. The non-NDA rates for all the currencies are very, very strong. So, whether you need to negotiate your rate is up to you. Whether you want to negotiate it, I would say if you feel like you want to do more, you feel like you want to be part of Rebuild America and help adopt a city, a town, or a community, then you're going to need more. There's nothing to limit you, basically. It's almost unlimited what you can do and what you can ask for if you want to be part of even that program that we started here months ago by talking about what it is we want to do to rebuild America, starting here, and then we'll rebuild other countries as well. We'll go beyond our borders and where we are welcome. We're not going to knock any doors down, but if we are welcome to help in other countries and we can do it without too much red tape or too many people trying to have their hands out for payoffs. We're not going to be doing that. Not in the payoff business, but we are in the business to help people. And it's like when Samaritan's Purse goes into Haiti or goes into some of these other countries when they've got, natural disasters like they've had in Haiti and so on. They're there to help. They make a difference. They make a difference in terms of housing and food, education, all of those things. They're involved in that. We want to do the same thing. We want to be involved in what a country needs, just like we're going to be involved in what a city needs, what a town needs in our country with Rebuild America. So I'm looking still for at least 5,000 of you on the Big Call to say, yeah, man, I want to be part of that. What Bruce and the rest of the Big Call team have put together, I'm all over that. I want to be part of that because I can see that's something that is long-lasting, that will create a legacy for me and my family, and it's going to be awesome. Even I think it was it today? Yeah, this morning I was hearing on the news discussion about rebuilding of infrastructure. It's funny because they did use the term rebuilding. This is important, and the infrastructure. There's so many different areas. They're going to offer about 8 different types of infrastructure bonds to handle these various areas, like bridges, like roads, like railway. Even maglev, I think, was mentioned. Schools. So many different things, guys. 8 different types of infrastructure. And I believe I heard a representative, and I believe actually it was the president I heard today that said that before we build anything new, we're going to fix what is broken. In other words, bring everything back up, and then we'll rebuild some new stuff. And that's where we rebuild America. And I think it's going to be awesome. I think we're going to be part of it. I think that the bonds that we should have access to are exactly what we're looking for infrastructure. And it's the funny thing is when I hear the number of $1 trillion, and they are back to talking about $1 trillion in infrastructure spending that is coming from public-private partnership, and we're the private part. $1 trillion, guys, I don't want to make it sound like it's nothing, but it's not going to be a whole lot given what it is we're looking at from our exchanges. It's just not a big number anymore. It's not. We used to think $1 trillion was a ton of money. It's still a lot of money, don't get me wrong. It'll still buy a lot. But based on the value of these currencies, especially the ZIM, it's just not. We can do more than that. And they know that. And they know we know that. And they know we know they know that. Ooh, I could have fun with this, couldn't I? Guys, listen, I'm excited because Iraq is ready. They're basically done. Ooh, there's that 4-letter D word, guys, that we're going to drop from our vernacular. Done. That word, done. If I ever hear the word none again, it'll be, don't like that word anymore. So here's the thing. Iraq is ready to go. They made an announcement that could serve as the announcement we were looking for. I certainly would interpret it as that. When we go to the rest of the world and we say, where is evidence of this? What are we seeing that tells us that the GCR has been released? That's another thing. Funds have been released. Guys, do you have any idea how many tranches of funds, and I mean major tranches, have taken place over the last 3 or 4 months? It's amazing. numbers that we don't even know the name of these numbers. I mean, some of them are like duodecillion, and some of these other huge numbers of money that have been funded and are actually spread around the world, not just here, not just Canada. I mean, they've been spread out to various countries all around the world to begin to take care of these exchanges, to take care of bond transactions, all of that. So the prep work is basically done. There may be more infusions of capital, not so much to take care of us, I think, but to take care of the public when they come in. Okay, so I think there'll be continuous tranches that come in as capital is required. But I'm feeling really good about what is out there and what is being handled. Our tier 1s are complete, tier 2s are complete. And my thinking is that tier 3s, which started actually transacting on Sunday morning at 10:30 in the morning Eastern, went to the point of a high percentage of completion last night, but still had additional tier 3s to work on today. My understanding is tier 3s should complete later on tonight. Now, what's the timing of tier 3s and tier 4s? My understanding is that there's no real break in the action, no pause between those two tiers. That when tier 3 completes, tier 4 is supposed to start. Now, that would mean that we are on the cusp of receiving the notification. I can't give a time on it because I don't know. I can't give the day on it because I don't know. But I've been alerted to be prepared to receive the toll-free number. Today I was alerted to be prepared. Was my number still valid? Was my phone still valid? Did I have it turned on? That kind of stuff. And of course it is. And it's charged and it's ready to go. Always. So, I'm ready when they are. Now, does that make it different than anything so far? Yeah, a little bit. Are we in a new window? I would say so. I would say that, how many times have we heard, and this is another one of these expressions we're going to drop. This is the week. Oh boy, baby, this is the week. Well, we've heard that for several weeks now. And where it did seem valid, and it sure looked valid by everything that we had, we went through that week without it. Now, it is the week, or has been the week, for the other tiers. For the other tiers and the groups and the subgroups and all that are part of tier 3. Yeah, it is. But I will say this. In most cases, there's a partial amount of liquidity available for some of these recent exchanges, and the high, vast majority is in what we would call a pending status in the bank. Means they can't have access to it yet. A lot of these people have been told when they're going to have access. Could be a day away, 2 or 3 days away, depending on who you were and when you transacted and so on. So we're sort of in that place right now where a lot of these accounts that are pending, or let's say they're frozen, or let's say they're, you can see them but you can't touch them. I believe those are going to change over probably at about the time that the toll-free number is released to me. That's a guess on my part, but I'm thinking that may be part of our shotgun start. That may be part of it, so that everybody pretty much receives their hydration and funds at approximately the same time. I mean, obviously, if we get the toll-free number and I put that out and get it out to the bigcall.net website, and then I put it out a couple other places. I mean, that's it. It's all over. That's what you guys want. That's what I want. I want to put it out there for you guys. And I guess what I'm saying is that's right now about what we're waiting for. There's not much else besides that notification. So I'm honored to be selected, to be contacted with the toll-free number. And I'm going to put it out in the proper way that I will be instructed to do so for as long as I need to do it, and then we will take it from there. Now, I'm trying to think of additional intel that has any relevance to us right now other than what I said. And the only thing I can say is things have completed out west that we were waiting for. Things have completed. And it's good to know that is the case. We're hearing it from every angle. And I have to tell you guys this before I maybe have a little fun with Sue on some words here. Oh gosh, what was I going to tell you guys? What's happened already that we were waiting for, we did get confirmation several ways from Sunday that everything is moving along and proceeding according to a plan. And even though there was maybe a slight glitch, let's call it, even as recent as last night, they did correct everything and they put it back on track, and we are moving along nicely. Some of these groups seem to have taken longer than we thought they would, but we believe that, the people that are waiting to be paid or waiting to have access to their funds are hearing really good information that they should receive that possibly before the day is over, depending on who they are and where they're located. So I'm excited, guys. I'm excited. You guys, I don't have maybe the high energy that I should right now because I'm just chilling right now, looking forward to receiving that and putting it out so we can all take off and get started. But I am very excited, and yes, things are moving along nicely. Now that we have the Tier 3s started over 2 days ago, and they should complete by late tonight, it's almost game over, guys. It's almost game over. And I think that's about as far as I can go with any detail on anything tonight. And I feel good about that. I feel good about letting you guys know that you're in a great, great place. We can't force this. It doesn't help to do that. I'm just basically chilled and looking forward to the receipt of that call. And at that point, we're just walking into a new paradigm. We're getting ready to launch in a new way. And Sue, I wanted to play a little game with you about some of the words that we're not allowed or we never, ever will want to use again after this blessing comes through. So I don't know if you've looked up any of these or you have any of your own, but I have some that I just thought I'd put out there and let you guys know that hopefully you'll never hear me use the word done, as in it's done. Oh, it's done. Everything's done. Everything's done. We're just waiting. That's another one. How about that? Everything's done. We're just waiting. That's one.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
How are we doing this? Are we taking turns?
Let's take turns, Sue. Let's take turns. You know me. I'm an equal opportunity.
That's right. A balanced brain. A balanced brain.
Yeah. Do
Balancing
you
the
have one, Sue?
masculine and feminine.
Yeah.
Let me see. What would